Yeah, I must say I was probably busy with the cans on, so as I said, it's the roar you hear, and actually I stand down at ground level and it shudders. Yeah. And so they should have, and as I said, they've been fantastic. As I said, they're on a journey themselves. First time ever they've now have got a side here, and different to obviously Brisbane are up the road, but they got a side here, and that's the side here that's going to stay. It's their side. They've got colours. They've had a part of the jumper design, all those sorts of things. And as I said, it was today. To me, it felt like supporters and the players came together as one.
Did you think that you were a sneaky chance at any time in that last quarter?
I thought all day. I've got to be honest, I know that the scoreboard looked terrible at one stage, but 34 points down at half-time. Again, we had a style of footy we wanted to play in the third quarter, and I must have been speaking Dutch-Irish because we did the complete opposite. But they got their mojo back, and it was thrilling. And we wanted to play fast football. We wanted to push these blokes into the deep end, and they responded. So that was exciting. I mean, obviously... A 22-point loss is not exciting in the scheme for our supporters and stuff, but as I said, where the boys have come from, I think it's a massive step forward.
What surprised me was how much energy they ran the game out with, because getting accustomed to seeing them getting run over the top of in the second half, obviously with so many young players on the side. So.
Yeah, well, that comes... obviously we don't... the conditioning level of these boys, we obviously have to rotate the kids in and get the fresh ones in, and that helps. But ultimately, we can't run any further or harder than what the boys are doing. And I think just our execution, we're able to do that and play longer bits of footy because our execution's better. Now, in saying that, I mean, there's 3 or 4 critical turnovers that allow the opposition to do what they do. But when you're able to maintain the footy and hold on to the ball for longer, you get value for effort. And as I said, today was one of those days where I thought, I know the stats were still 60 stats down from the Western Bulldogs, but the last 2 weeks I reckon we've been over 150 away from the opposition, which makes it very hard. So all that energy is used in defending rather than attacking.
Speaking of execution, did you say anything to Michael Weston-Telly?
Twice now in all my time of AFL footy, and I reckon, let's be honest, we're a young side, we understand all that. It's hard enough to fight the opposition with 22, but the 23rd bloke jumps up and plays for the opposition in our colours. It makes it very, very hard. So David Hart, I think, actually hit Jason Dunstall on the chest, and I still reckon I've got Michael Brennan's spray in my ear because I was on the half-back line, and I heard Michael Brennan, he said it's hard enough, the Hawthorn on-ball is kicking to Jason Dunstall. I don't need one of our own midfielders doing the same. So we haven't played, I don't know how many times we played at Metricon Stadium, but obviously not enough for Riska. So... I think the teammates out there gave him a friendly reminder, that's for sure.
What do you put that down to? Look, was it just a lack of concentration?
Oh, no. Well, as I said, I've seen it happen before. Do you see it regularly? Of course you don't. But as I said, Ariska, I thought, was one of our senior players to fly the flag again like he has done all year, and maybe he's a bit dazed after half-time or whenever it happens. So, that happens.
You didn't see the doctor do a memory test?
No, he was. When we questioned him after the game, he did say he might have got a knock on the head. I said, well, you're about to get another one.
From your round 3 game against the Bulldogs today, you would have seen like improvement kind of individually?
Yeah, and look, as I said before, yesterday about the result, the 71 point down to 22. So from a scoreboard point of view, it all looks really good, But even in that game, as bad as 71 points looked, I thought for periods of that game we actually controlled it as well back at round 3. But but certainly today I thought we controlled the game at certain stages for longer. And as I said, the boys got value for effort. Ultimately they're a bit older, a bit more clinical, and as I said, we're encouraging our boys to play a brand of footy that does put us on the edge, and when it just doesn't come off, they're going to get easy goals. And look, the 22-point difference, I reckon if I asked Dean Solomon about our defensive coach, quite easily we could have said 5 or 6. I think there was one kick out, Zach Smith's turnover, and we used that as an example, like Carmichael Hunt when he went back to the seconds. He did this almost the same kick and it got picked off. Well, instead of shouting him and getting him off, we actually pat him on the back because we know next week he knows where to kick that ball, so it's actually to these teammates' advantage now rather than putting it on his head. But if he doesn't try it, we'll never get better, we'll never be able to play quick footy. So he has to go through that, so he doesn't get his ear belted by me, he almost gets a pat on the back. Next time, this is what we need to do. Fantastic. The fact you had a go at it. So that's where we're at, and so 22 points down. Yeah, we know it could have been quite easily a different result.
Well, you speak of challenges, Roy. Obviously, you're going to Perth again next week. Must feel like you've been there a few times this year, including the pre-season. You just compare it to like a Collingwood who's travelling this week for the first time. Does it feel like you've been on the road a bit this year? Is it tough to go to Perth again?
Oh, look, I'm going to use them as excuses. It's just reality. I mean, 2 Adelaide games, 2 Perth games, 2 byes in the first half of the season. We understand that. We knew that. So, for the conditioning blokes to do what they've done, to get the boys to run out games like we did, again, I can thank the supporters for their fantastic support today and all year, mind you, and even last year and even in the 18s. And, the conditioning boys to grab a bunch of young kids and be able to run out a game like we did today and then front up next week against Fremantle with another long trip to Perth, it's a pleasing result. And as I said, we go over there and we'll go over there with a mindset that we're every chance to win the game.
How frustrating was that first half, Louis? You seem to have just as much play, but you couldn't capitalise and you probably missed a lot of kickable goals.
Yeah, the misses are the misses, but I don't look at it as frustration. I mean, I'm frustrated for the boys because, again, they're working so hard, getting good shots on goal and missing, but it's encouraging, not frustrating, it's encouraging. The fact they got themselves into that position because, Western Bulldogs, if they're in our situation, I'm sure they wouldn't be frustrated either. They'd be excited the fact they're getting these young kids in these great spots to have shots on goal. Now they miss, but we know, we're as coaches and the club, we're trying to make sure that happens next week. They kick them, or the week after. But we know could be another 10 rounds before David Swallow nails those goals. Josh Fraser nails those goals. All those kids running in and having shots on goals. We should know that. Just give them time. Give them time. When they start nailing them, look out.
If I can single one player out, Louis, Tom Lynch, you must be pretty excited about him.
Yeah, no, he's a ripping kid. He's done it tough. He had glandular fever post-Christmas, so he came back. He was fit as a mallee bull prior to Christmas and basically just had to almost start all over again. So for him to come out like he did against Brisbane, which was his first game, him and Sam Day, he's an exceptional, but he's just one of those draft horses. He just gets out there and works and works and works. And at some stage, during the course of the game, and it hurts him. He hurts his ability to mark and then kick the ball. But, you can't deny the way he works and works defensively when the ball hits the ground.
Thank you.